From Nashville, Tennessee, inside the Noize podcast with your host, Jenna Heidman. Here's Jenna.
Welcome to Inside the Noize. My name is Jenna Heidman, and today we're here with Ray Fulcher. How you doing?
I'm good. You got my name right, so that's a great start.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much that it's.
People get your name wrong?
Seems
What?
like
We've gone Ron Folger,
Ron Fulcher.
Roy Fletcher.
I've heard Roy Fletcher.
Roy Fletcher. It's not a bad name.
Roy Fletcher.
I feel like Roy Fletcher would be my name. I'd tell girls in the bar, like, nah, I'm not Ray Fulcher. I actually get that a lot. I'm Roy Fletcher.
My TM thought it would be funny to make this shirt that looks exactly like one of my merchandise shirts.
Yeah.
Except instead of Ray Fulcher, it says Roy Fletcher on it. And now everybody
wants those.
Those shirts. Yeah.
I think it's hilarious,
merch.
man. I mean, I want one. Where do I get them?
We'll get you one.
RoyFletcher.com?
I'll get Kevin on that.
All right.
Okay, so we start each week with make some noise, stop that noise. So like a good week, bad week. And I can go first if you're not ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my good week is that NFR is coming up in Las Vegas.
Oh.
Super excited about it.
That's awesome.
I went last year for the first time. So I'm going out for 2 weeks again this year. It's insane. Have you been?
No, I haven't.
You have to go.
Do you know what the NFR is?
Yeah, National Finals Rodeo. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big 8 seconds guy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Actually, rodeo when I was a
Lane
kid.
Frost,
Wait,
man.
for real?
Yeah, I'd say rodeo. In Georgia, it was like...
Yeah,
really
he like wrestled goats and...
It really wasn't barrel... I did barrel racing. So
Okay.
the rodeo wasn't like...
Oh, shit.
Bronc riding or bull riding down in Georgia. But we did that. So
Okay.
I was,
That's super
I did
cool.
the circuit for like 4 or 5 years, so...
Okay.
Damn.
When I was a kid.
I hear you, Ray.
I didn't, but now like I went to this first rodeo, and I like hung out with all the rodeo girls, and now I'm obsessed.
There you go.
Like I'm following bull riders.
It's
like
your horse.
I'm like into. I've never ridden a horse before.
What?
Yeah,
Well, that's a start.
Ever.
You
Like
gotta start
I
there.
need to because I feel like such a poser, which I am. But
You gotta start somewhere.
yeah.
Maybe getting on a horse would be the start. So.
Yeah.
it just
I don't
seems
know,
so
man.
big and
Horses...
scary.
Yeah, I don't know if... I mean... Say that there ever comes a time where, you know, there's like a zombie apocalypse and we're all like can't drive cars because we're out of gas. I would ride a horse then, you know. But,
Yeah.
or maybe, you know, on a nice, cozy trail, I would do that. But the
It
whole...
throws you off.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be like Martina McBride, you know, cowgirls don't cry. I would cry in a heartbeat if I got thrown off of a horse.
Yeah, it hurts.
Wait, that's Reba.
That's Reba. Damn. Messed that one up. Yeah, so that's my good week. I'm excited about that coming up. My Stop That Noise is trying to pack for 2 weeks in Las Vegas.
Oh.
Like, that's a task.
That's a task.
I've been, like, prepping for, like, the last 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
Like, making a list. Because last year was really unprepared. So this year I want to go in super prepared.
Well, yeah, the second time of anything you kind of learn, right?
Yeah.
Kind of do it right.
So, like, Las Vegas is dry. So I'm, like, gonna Amazon Prime, like, a little humidifier with, like,
Man,
essential
you thought
oils.
way further into it than I ever would.
I've been planning for way too long, like, really thinking about
Be
it.
like the night before, I'd be like, what do I need to take out here?
But I can just...
For a half second, I thought you were meant like it has no, like you can't buy alcohol. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But then, like, I also don't know how to travel. When I was there last year, I bought 2 cowboy hats, and I had to put them on my head and fly back with them on my head.
Because you had nothing to travel with.
So,
Yeah.
do I buy, like, one of those 10 boxes and travel with that and check it? Or do you carry it on?
I think you just carried that on, and I think you just disregard the... I don't think that would count. In my head,
So it doesn't count?
In my head, it doesn't count.
Okay.
I would just pretend like it doesn't count until somebody stops.
So, like, bring, like, my book bag, my carry-on rolling
Yes.
suitcase, and the hat carrier.
Yes. Because I've gone, like, book bag, carry-on bag, and guitar before.
Okay, and they allowed
Nobody
it.
said nothing. Yep. So I just pretended like I was supposed to do it, and they didn't say nothing. So.
Okay. I feel like if you kind of pretend like you're supposed to do something, most of the time people don't stop you.
And then if they do, just be like, "Oh, well, John said I could." And there's always a John somewhere. So
All right, I'm going to use that when I
Yeah.
go, and then if it doesn't work,
yeah,
I'm going to call you.
like, John just got fired. Like, well, you know,
Come on.
You know
you're
that
not-
other
yeah.
guy. The other guy,
Not John. I meant like John.
yeah.
Oh, you talking about
It's Tom. Sorry.
Tom? Yeah, I mean, people get Tom and John mixed up all the time. It's all good.
Oh,
Now,
man.
it's words of advice from Ray Fulcher, Ron
Yeah.
Fletcher.
Come on.
Okay, so now make some noise, stop that noise.
Okay.
Good week, bad week.
Had a great week. To be honest with you, I killed biggest deer I ever killed on Friday.
Congrats, I saw that
The
post.
thing was
6 days
a
That's exciting.
For
monster.
Georgia, it was a big deer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
What did weigh out?
he weighed out at almost 200 pounds, which for Georgia, that's a huge
Yeah, that's a
deer.
big deal.
Yeah.
And I hadn't got his rack scored yet, but I will.
Yeah.
Right when we get him.
You gonna mount
Get him
him?
back. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, you got to, man.
And so, and also, I had a new song come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Name of it?
So Ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah, spooky on Halloween.
It's you gotta get.
that was
spooky.
a
You gotta-
I don't know who thought of that, but that was a good move to release
Well,
Ghost on.
We talked about it like it was one of the ones that we wanted to put out this year,
Yeah,
and I remember just being like, if I'm putting out Ghost, we just got to do it on Halloween.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, yeah. And I listened to it this morning, man. It's a cool track.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, Jonathan. I wrote that with Brock Berryhill and Jay Brunswick, and then
Yeah.
Jonathan Singleton produced
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I'm proud of it. But so that was I had a great week of those two things. And my guitar player gets married this weekend, so God rest his soul. So I'm just kidding. No, we're gonna have fun. And
That's exciting.
You know, no, Catherine's awesome, and he's super excited. I'm excited to go. But so we're off the road. So I'm technically off this weekend for the first time in forever, but I'm still on the road.
Where's the wedding
Still
at?
going
It's
to a
in
wedding.
Asheville, North Carolina,
Okay, yeah, so you're traveling
which will
still.
be great. Which will be great. But I'm still traveling, so I don't have a lot to be upset about. So that's like the little thing that I can find.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so,
gosh
yeah.
darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dang it.
Are you slowing down now that it's the end of the year?
So we are this weekend we're off, but we're playing the next pretty much all the way through November until like November 21st, I think it is,
Okay,
and then we're pretty much done.
done.
for the
Yeah.
year.
It's like everything kind of shuts off like December 1st.
Yeah. pretty
Everyone
much.
leaves town.
I mean,
and shuts
there's
down.
like some shows out there, but we've played so many shows and like went so hard this year that I think it's needed to have a little bit of a
Little rest
little
time.
break. Yeah.
You got any idea
Refresh.
how many shows you played? Not even
I don't-
including like the morning radio and stuff
I don't
like
know.
that.
I don't know this year, but I know that we've only had it's the last day of October, and I don't think we've had, but like 4 or 5 weekends off all
Nah.
year. So
Hardest working man in
Going.
Nashville.
how about that? But I'm trying to be. So
Yeah.
Okay, give our listeners kind of a little backstory, like when you moved to Nashville, what you've been doing since, and like how you got to this point.
okay. So I moved to Nashville in 2014, May of 2014. So I went to University of Georgia. I'm from Harlan, Georgia, which is outside of Augusta. And so I went to University of Georgia. I was going to be a football coach. That's what I was.
Okay.
So I worked with the football team when I was there, and I was always just going to go, like, I got a history degree, education degree in, like, history education. And I stayed and got my master's degree. And so I did the whole thing, and I was going to be a
man.
teacher. And then, and I've got to tell the story a couple times, but it's my favorite story to tell, so I'll tell it again. But I didn't know how to play guitar. I always loved music growing up. I mean, and my parents love all, different kinds of music. So, but the thing that I always loved the most was the country. And I grew up on the George Strait, Travis Tritt, Alan Jackson, all that stuff. And so I always loved it, but I never knew how to play guitar, never thought about singing, or didn't really cross my mind to ever do it until I went to an Eric Church concert, which this is when...
Yeah,
like,
that'll change your perspective.
How About You was his first single, and that's the one that was out at the time.
Okay.
Was
And
that
so-
like when he
Like
was on
Two
tour
Pink
with Aldine?
Lines.
Or
that?
was it a solo concert?
Solo.
Okay.
So and it was in Georgia Theater in Athens, and it was his first. He was touring his first album. Just had one song on the radio that was like kind of doing its thing on the chart at the time. But I had never heard of him. I had never.
But you went anyway.
I went anyway. My friends wanted me to go. And I
Okay.
was like, all right, cool. I'll check this guy out. And then he, about halfway through the show, I was definitely a fan. I was like, I dig this guy. I want to buy his album. This is cool. But then he sent the band off, and he played a song called Lightning, which is on his first album.
Dude, that song
And,
is just a...
To this day is my favorite Eric Church song. But so and he was playing it by himself, and I don't know what happened that night or whatever, but I just was like, the belt, just kind of a light went off in my head, and I was like, all right, I thought I wanted to do that, and I know this is crazy, Ray, in your head, this is insane to think this, but I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it just hit me, and I was like, I got to figure out how to do that.
Well,
So,
by the time of the concert, had you already gotten your master's degree and you were?
So it was. No, I hadn't even got my actual degree yet. I was.
Oh, okay.
My junior year of college.
Okay.
I hadn't got my first degree yet. So. And I didn't know how to play yet. But it was like a couple weeks later, something like that. I got a guitar and tried to learn to play and learned a couple chords. Just started playing with people that were better than me. But still, at this point, I was like, still not thinking of it as a career. It's like I just got to learn how to play and sing and write or whatever. And at that time, even writing wasn't a thing that I even thought about. It's like, let me start here. And so then I formed a band in Athens like a year after that, and we played like around town a little bit. And started trying to write some, but then as I got into my master's, I was still going to school and working for the football team and trying to do this on the side. So it was obviously a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And so went and got my master's, and I still we was playing shows. Kind of my last year there as a master's student. Then I moved back home, and that's kind of when for about a year I would play at home some, but I wouldn't writing or playing shows really.
Yeah.
And then I met a guy back home named Alex Hintz, and then we started this little duo back home. And he played. I was just older enough than him to we didn't cross paths in high school, but we always kind of knew each other, from mutual friends.
Yeah.
So we started. His dad had a band that I always played growing up. So
what was the name of the duo?
County Line.
Nice.
So then we actually added, and it kind of grew and shrank over time. Like at one time we had 6 of us, and one time it started out with just 2.
Mm-hmm.
But the third guy we added is actually my drummer still. His name is
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. His name is Tyson Thaxton, and he is from the Augusta area.
Well, things worked out with him, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know him until I moved back to Augusta or Harlan. From Athens. And then we happened to meet, just a chance meeting, and we were like, let's jam sometime or whatever. And then since that time, it was now it's been 7 or 8 years.
Man, that's crazy.
And I've had 7 years now. And then since then, there's been, I can count on one hand how many shows he hadn't played with me since then.
That's crazy. Did he move here with you?
Yeah, so I moved in May, and he moved that September.
Okay.
And we lived in the same house for a couple of years and all that stuff. So,
man, there's something about just when you find a band member that you have chemistry with, and you can talk to each other without ever saying a word while you're playing. It's like, hey, let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah, we know each other pretty well.
And the drummer carries a band.
Yeah, no, he does. He probably wants to kill me sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, I just I started dabbling and writing a little bit, trying to try my hand at it a little bit, but they were awful. Looking back, awful songs.
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
Yep, I wrote it this is how I knew that I should probably at least give the music thing a try. Was when I was student teaching. I remember my first before you student teach, you have to do this what they call it, practicum, where you go for a month and you just kind of watch. And you just try to learn and stuff. And then the next semester, you actually student teach. Well, during the practicum, while I was supposed to be watching, I was found myself just right in the back of the classroom, writing this song and stuff. And so I remember it was called Lights. And looking back on it, I wrote the idea terribly, but it wasn't a bad idea, so maybe I should pull it out.
Maybe rewrite that now.
Rewrite it now. But, and so... and then I just had a decision to make eventually. We were playing shows all around, and even back home, we kind of grew as much as you can grow. We opened up for Craig Morgan and Marshall Tucker Band and Montgomery Gentry.
Athens is a good place to come up. Georgia just breeds country music singers, but Athens, especially that area. It just seems like it's a great place for people to cut their teeth. And,
that's kind of where we started in the bars there. And then when I moved to Augusta is when we kind of...
And then, Georgia Southern, is that, close?
Mm-hmm. It's 2 hours from Augusta, something like that.
What's the bar in Augusta? Country
Club.
Country Club,
mm-hmm.
yeah. That's a heck of a place.
Yeah, it's fun. We played there a bunch, and that was like, it's funny. That's when you're from there. It was like, oh, if I ever get to play country club, that'll be like, I'll be
Dream
good.
country.
That'll be all I ever want to do. And then, but it's funny how like this one little goal you meet, and you're like, well, let's try the next thing. And the next thing, you don't ever. At least for me, I never. It was always like, here's how it went for me. It goes, oh, I'd love to learn how to play like 3 chords. And then it was, I'd love to learn like 4 or 5 more. And it was like, maybe I can learn a whole song. And it was like, well, maybe I can like fumble my way through singing this song.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, maybe I'll do a open mic night. And then next thing you know, you're moving to Nashville. It's like, that's the way it worked for me, at least. It was like, I never said,
baby steps turn into miles, man.
I moved to Nashville.
It wasn't like
it was
you were
never like,
thinking
this is
that.
what I'm doing. Yeah. So, moved to Nashville in 2014, May of 2014, like 3 days before my birthday, I think it was.
You didn't stick around for a birthday party?
No, I had to get on out of town.
Come on.
I already had to get on out of town. Those few days was you never know what would happen. So,
yeah. You got to pull the cord. Somebody can talk you out of it.
Matter of fact, I'm glad I didn't stay because I moved on May the 11th, so it's 4 days before my birthday. But I saw on like social media or something that John Langston was moving the same exact day.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And so I didn't really know anybody in town. Like I wasn't coming with a bunch of friends. I knew one person, and I'd only met him one time, who is now my bass player.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I saw John was moving, I was like, man, he seems cool, and I really need a friend. So I like DM'd him. I was like, you're moving, I'm moving. I don't have any friends. If you want to hang out, let's hang out. He was like, yeah, man. So my birthday came a few days later, and it was just me and John went like Buffalo Wild Wings for my birthday.
Yeah.
Just me and him. And then I remember him going, that's where I say I'm glad I moved when I did.
Yeah.
3 days early because he was like, hey, I got a buddy coming in town, and he's coming to like record some songs, but he's staying at my apartment for the weekend. And he was like, do you want to go hang out with him? I was like, yeah, I got nothing else to do. No anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to go home yet. So it was early. It was like 9 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get back to the apartment, and his buddy gets there, and it was Luke Combs.
Never heard of him.
And that was the first time I met him.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Somebody told me, like, the decisions you make determine your destiny, you know? And, like, when you hear stories like that, that's when that really, I mean, that was just the first time y'all met, and look at what it turned into.
Like, what was that first interaction?
The first interaction was, what's up, man? And then he was like, I think I've run across your stuff on Twitter. You have an awesome call sign or whatever they call it on Twitter. It's Call Me Raymond, like because at the time,
Okay.
She Calls Me Raymond and was like a big song. And
I remember when
handle.
your Instagram was that too.
So he was like, "You have a badass Twitter handle. I think we can be friends." So, but then he would, and actually from that night till for the next few months, I didn't see him again because he still hadn't moved up to like September or something. This is May. But then I saw him again at like Tin Roof, and that's kind of when we.
So was that like he was in college still then, or right after?
No, I think it was right. I think it was right after.
Yeah,
college
after
was over for him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he was September of 14, something like that.
Yeah.
And then so.
Man, that was a heck of a class that moved to Nashville that year, huh?
So I mean, we just. Yeah, I mean, and from then it's like, it's kind of my story hadn't changed a whole lot. I just
kind of stayed in that same group.
Kind of write 4 days a week and play on the weekends, and that's really been, it's really been my life for the last 5 years. So,
how have you found and like grown your team around you? Like,
just I mean, for me, it's like when you meet, it's just always a gut feeling. I mean, you just when you meet somebody that's like, oh, I love to hang out with them, or I love to, try to write with them or whatever it is. It's like it's hard to put your hand on or your finger on like exactly what it is, but then you look up and it's like, man, I got a lot of friends I really like.
Yeah.
And then my manager, I didn't have management for a while, and then it was about this time last year, Neil from Cadillac 3, Neil Mason, he started working together, and really we just, I think a friend introduced us, and then it was like
Neil's the drummer, right?
Now,
yeah.
How's it like having a manager who's on the road too, doing the same kind of like doing the thing?
Yeah, I mean, And at first, you know, and I'm sure he'll tell you that. He would tell you that too. That I'm sure when he first started, because I wasn't the first client that he had, but
yeah, we've had both Stephen Carey and Austin Jenks in
awesome.
here. Yeah, so we kind of
hit
him up.
And I think probably, you know, I'm sure it was a concern for him at one point. Mm-hmm. But you know, obviously it was a concern at first. Like, man, he's played all these shows too. Like, I wonder if there's enough time for not just me but also other people. And what you find with Neil is he is, number one, extremely smart, and Neil, hats off to you if you listen to this. You hear that shout out I just gave you?
Heck yeah.
Pretty smart guy. No, but he's brilliant, and
it's just amazing to me that people can stay that organized. You know.
Yeah, and I think and that has a lot to do with it too. He's very efficient. He's very smart, but he also uses his time wisely. And so what I found out is, like, even when he's on the road, they're on a bus, and so they have all this free time. And but you know, all the time that Neil and I worked together, which I guess has been a little over a year now, and there's never been a time where I've ever been like, man, I can't get an answer from him, or like he's too busy for it. It's never been that at all. So, and that's credit, and you know, hats off to him for being as smart, organized, efficient, way more so than I could ever be. So,
yeah, I will say, watching you kind of like from a distance and like seeing you on social media, like your branding's great.
Man,
I love your graphics. I love everything you're doing there.
We spend a lot of time thinking about it, and then thinking about like 14 or 15 wrong ways to do it before we settle on the one.
The right way.
Like, this might be the right one. We know the other ones aren't right, so let's try this one.
Yeah. No, I think you guys are doing a great job on that. I'm a big like marketing, branding person, so
if you like it,
I like it.
Then all right, we're doing good, Neil.
It's kind of like one of those things you're looking, you're like, wonder who's doing that on there.
Right,
like,
right.
Can we hire them?
Yeah. So this year, you know, I put out music before, and I think the last thing before I put out, it's been about 3 years. It was almost 3 years since the last thing I put out to Anything Like You Dance.
Okay.
But since then, we just, we had to focus this year, on at least on the artist side of setting the foundation this year, like putting out music and kind of making up for it. Not lost time, but like we went a couple years without putting out music. So, you know, trying to give that back to the fans and really trying to set a foundation for later.
What was the process of putting out music? Did you start with a single, an EP, or kind of like, what was your guys' thought behind all that?
We kind of picked out the songs first. Like, we want to pick out songs that kind of, not all songs. We didn't want to go, hey, let's pick out 6 songs we think can be singles. It's like, let's pick out a couple that we think are kind of in that lane, but then let's pick out 4 more that kind of tell who you are, and like kind of tell a story of like, when you get finished with this EP, you know who I am, you know, through song a little bit. And we want each song to be different. We don't want any song to sound the same, like sonically. So once we picked the songs out, then we just went and recorded them all. And then it was kind of over Christmas break last year that we kind of were going back and forth deciding on like, what's the first song, what's the first first single, or whatever you want to call it, and then kind of how we want to map all that out through the rest of the year. And so, I mean, we had, pretty much from January 1st till today, which is crazy. Yeah. We had this whole year mapped out, other than Down My Window. Okay. That was a thing that we hadn't necessarily planned. Thank you. That's not what we hadn't necessarily planned on. But then we kind of slid it in between the EP and Ghost, which came out today. So
okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
Was
it one that you had written in
the new
year?
It was one that we had written before. We just as we saw, we put out Anything Like You Dance, and as we saw how that was reacting, the more I listened to that demo and stuff, I just kept going back to it, and I was like, you know, this is so right there for like what I want to do as far as when you talk about up tempo songs. It's like if I'm gonna do up tempo songs, it's kind of that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool that you had the freedom as an artist to be able to make that change, because like you just said, you had the whole entire year mapped out before the year started.
Right.
And for you to, call an audible like that,
Right.
and say, you know, I believe in this, and for your team to get behind that and make it happen.
Yeah, well, it was like after the EP, we were like, we knew we wanted to do Ghost on on Halloween because but it was like kind of that open area. We were kind of like, we can go a few different ways here.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we all sat around and listened to that song and settled on it, it was kind of just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Texas country. I feel like it
Awesome.
kind of fits that lane or
Yeah.
kind of bridges well with it.
Right, yeah.
And then I saw you on tour with Josh Abbott. Did some shows with them.
Did some shows with them, yeah. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. Do you think his fan base is kind of your same fan base?
A little bit different,
Yeah,
but there
a
is a
little
Venn
different.
diagram where like some of them kind of...
Some of them mix over?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, which Corey Smith is not Texas country, but you being, you know, from that area, I mean, when I was coming up, Corey Smith was, you know, just getting huge in like the college circuit, and I'm sure he was coming up right around the same time. Was he like an influence to you, knowing that he went from being a teacher to being an artist like that? Did that have
In a way,
any...
I mean, he was an influence, two things. So he was an influence in the way that like he proved that could happen.
Yeah.
All right. But I was more of in college, I was a huge Corey Smith fan.
Yeah.
And-
Anybody that was in college
Yeah.
was a Corey Smith fan.
I had never
And-
heard of Corey Smith until this year.
Man.
I went to go see Chris
He was-
Bandy,
he was
and he was
huge.
opening for Corey Smith,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason I went.
Man, Corey Smith, he still just sells out anywhere he goes to.
I went to Chattanooga, and we're like, oh, we'll go see Chris Bandy. There'll be tickets. So we
Yeah.
get there, and it says sold out. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
We messed up.
Yeah.
So, and he wasn't an influence as far as me as an artist just because
Yeah.
we were doing different things. But he was, like I said, I was a fan. And he was
yeah,
in the sense
it
that
didn't have to influence your music,
Sure.
but it's still it's that was my curiosity was, you know, did you see that and say, well, yeah, that's actually possible because
Yeah.
he did it.
Yeah, that definitely helped for
Yeah.
sure. Because I mean, it always helps. Like, you know, if somebody did it before,
Yeah, I mean,
at least
'cause-
once. Because then, if there's not that, then you're on the other hand, you're like, well, the world's been here a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's ever done that.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna be pretty hard. But if you know, and that's not to say you shouldn't try it anyway. But
Yeah.
if there's somebody who's done it before you, you're like, okay, well, there's a precedent for
Yeah.
that. It's happened before. It can be done, kind of thing. So
Absolutely.
Now, when you're picking out songs, because you write a lot, so you write 4 days a week, and you're writing songs for yourself and for other artists, kind of like, did you shop any of these around or like pitch them anywhere before you took them
yeah,
as
a
an
couple
artist?
of them were, and I don't remember exactly who or which songs necessarily, but yeah, some of these were on hold and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and some of them were, you know, people, you know, were maybe going to cut them or whatever, but they all just, you know, they were
For whatever reason
they were
or
there,
another.
yeah, for whatever reason they were still there when I wanted to go cut, and they all fit exactly kind of, you know, they all fit in what I wanted to do. So,
Yeah.
Now, say they were still there, but maybe they were still on hold. Did you have to like ask for the rights back, or
Yeah, well, I mean, being the writer, I guess, you know, I could have just said, "Hey, I want to do it."
Mm-hmm.
But I think all those by the time that I wanted to cut them, I think they were open. So,
Yeah.
which I mean was fine for me because it's like, hopefully as an artist you want to create your own lane. So it's like these fit perfect for my lane, which is like it makes sense that they're
Yeah.
you know still there. So they're like
Yeah, there's a
kinda my
reason
thing.
that
Yeah.
they for whatever
Yeah.
reason, yeah, we're still
Sure.
available.
Now anything that like, I mean, there's a few people that if I write a song with them, like I'm not gonna touch it just because of like Luke being, for example.
Yeah,
If we're gonna write a song together, I'm not gonna touch it because I want, you know, Luke's gonna have,
yeah,
you know, I want Luke to have, you know, if he wants to cut
Best
it,
shot
I
at it.
obviously want him to do that, you know. So, and there's a couple other people like that, but these, luckily for me as the artist, weren't in that group. So
yeah.
Yeah. Now, you moved to town and kind of didn't really know
Yeah.
much about the music industry, I'd guess. Kind
Right.
of moving
No,
here.
I
Like,
didn't.
what were like the biggest surprises or like the biggest like mistakes or like things that like hiccups you hit?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I think
the whole
there weren't many. I know this is weird to say. There weren't many surprises because I just came in knowing that like I didn't know anything,
Yeah.
and so I go, I'm not gonna assume anything because I just know that I don't know, and then I just was like, you know, let me go work for 2 years and like not try for anything other than not try for anything, and just I just want to write and learn for 2 years and then come up for air and see where, you know, kind of see where I'm at. And so It's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
Well, you've been.
It takes a lot of patience.
Yeah.
2 years is a long time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I feel like I've known you, probably since around 15. But you were writing 4 days a week even back then.
Yeah.
Even in that what you just said,
Yeah,
your 2-year
and I just
window learning period.
Yeah, and I just didn't know, and I mean, I guess, I just didn't. I was just like, all right, well, I'm just.
I
Gonna
mean,
keep
there's
writing,
what is it? Strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so, and I knew too that, like, one of the things that stuck with me, somebody told me when I first moved to town, like, you won't write a good song until you write 100 bad ones first. And so I was like, all right, well, let me get these 100 bad ones out of that. Yeah.
and if you're lucky,
I always tell people that when I have just an idea in general. I'm like, I'm going to tell you 99 bad ones, but we're going to get to the good one eventually.
Get to the good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just started writing, and then, Luke, going back to Luke, we were good friends, and, we kind of hit it off as friends, obviously, but we didn't start writing like immediately. It was just like we hung out a bunch, and then
so y'all were just kind of like hitting the Mumbrian, the Whiskey Jam, that kind of.
He's a big fan of Madden.
Yeah.
I would go over there and do that, but we kind of bonded over here at church.
Yeah,
because he's a huge church fan, and it was one of those things like where we would talk about the album cuts and stuff, and then we kind of just like bonded over that, and for lack of a better word. So then we started writing, and then we started writing every Tuesday for like a year. But the first song we wrote ever was Beer Can, which was on his first record.
Yeah. That one did all right.
Yeah, thankful, man. Thank Lord on that one. But James McNair wrote that one with us. But
yeah, I love James. James is a heck of a writer too.
Yeah, he is. And we just, as far as mine and Luke's thing, it's like it's one of those things that just fit and made sense and clicked like from the first time that we tried it. And I think just because the same things of a song that are important to like both of us. Mm-hmm. And so that's what makes it. That's what kind of makes it. Made it click for us. Is like.
For anybody that doesn't know, Ray's had a cut or two with Luke, and I mean at some point, y'all started out as like really good friends, and that's going to help you as a writer. But if y'all two don't have just that magic together, there's no way that you're gonna have that many.
You gotta be compatible. I mean, you have to be compatible. Yeah. I mean, I have really great friends back home. Yeah, but I don't think we'd have chemistry right. What I mean? So,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
and I mean, you got great friends here too. Yeah. I mean, there's people that you hang out with all the time, and it's just for some reason it doesn't work in the room. But there's also instances like with Luke where it's just. But I mean, you probably write one good one for every 4 or something like that. But I mean, that seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean, we just, we have a chemistry and that.
Y'all write just you two mostly, or
no? We usually have a third. Yeah. And not always. But
ever need a third?
Yeah, we always need a third.
Call me.
I got your number. Yeah, but we and I mean, it's one of those things too where you don't, till you look back on it later, it's like, we had something, and hopefully still have, something really cool. So,
what was one that as soon as you finished writing it, you were like, this one is
magic.
Yeah.
I would say, I Got Away With You.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I Got Away With You.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool one, man.
Yeah, and that was one that when we finished it, I just was like, and this time now, Luke didn't have a record deal. Nobody had a publishing deal, so it was like, you think it's a special song, but you don't know what kind of platform it's going to have. And here we are now. It's it's obviously things have changed for him.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you go play a live show, do you play any of those songs you wrote?
Yeah, I do. I play usually play like one of the album cuts or something, and then play When It Rains It Pours, and then
and then that one did all right.
Yeah, it did, man. That was just like, we had so much fun writing that song, and we never in a million years would have thought it did what it did, but thankfully it did, and now I've just now started playing, even though I'm leaving in the set.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I do that by myself because I feel like you know.
It's it'd be a good acoustic song. Good.
Yeah.
That's your. Full circle moment. You know, to Eric Church saying, "Hey, y'all take a break. I'm gonna play this acoustic song, Lightning."
Sure. Yeah, it is.
You know,
it is. Yeah, and I love doing that in each show, trying to like take a break in the middle and kind of break it down like that. So.
Yeah, and that's a good song to do it with.
Yeah.
How would you describe your live show? Like if I come to it not knowing what to expect.
High energy.
Do you like dance and jump around?
I don't dance. No, I'm not a dancing guy for sure. No, that's not my thing. But a little bit different guy than sitting here right now. I'm like not. I try to kind of flip a switch to where it's
okay,
a little bit different. But it's like what I really what I hope to do, what I strive to do, is for it to be a roller coaster where it's like you come out and then it's really high octane energy, big songs, fun songs, and then bam, you break it down and it's just me with a guitar. So like what I aim to do is like give the people who are there to drink beer and have fun, give them that, but also the same people that want to hear the really like songwriter stuff too, like give those people something to hang on to too.
Yeah,
so give everybody
next Roy Fulcher might be out there wanting to be a songwriter.
Giving everybody a moment,
Yeah.
So because for me there's both sides of me. Like I love the kind of the rockin',
Southern
band
rock
stuff,
and get out there
just
and
like
be Leonard Skinner.
Guitars left and right and stuff, and then right in your face, but also just as much love the very simple, like songwriter stuff. And I think and a lot of that is what I love so much about Eric Church's shows. He does that really good, and in no way am I trying to like emulate that at all, but I do love how the energy can shift and almost seamlessly, and then it's like you're like it's like you're at the listening room at a 60,000 person stadium, so
I couldn't imagine. Do you have like a
when Eric is playing, not me.
You went on tour with Luke and you did that, and did you get that opportunity?
So Luke and I went on tour with Luke this summer.
The Beer Never Broke My Heart tour.
Were you on some of those dates with Cody Johnson?
Yeah,
I'm a big Cody Johnson fan.
Yeah, he's awesome. And so some of those venues were they were big. Golly, some of them were like 20, 25,000.
Man,
a sea of people.
I just couldn't imagine. Do you have like some kind of pre-show ritual or?
Yeah, me and the guys just pray, and then I typically don't. I'm just like telling myself, I kind of work, and then I like try to. Once I flip the switch on stage, it's like I try to, but beforehand, I don't typically get nervous.
Just
about
try to stay calm
about anything but forgetting words.
Have you forgotten the words?
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's what.
Yeah.
Luckily,
you're a pretty good songwriter. Okay. You might can make it up on the spot.
And it's okay if and it's not like I forget whole lines, but I'm like,
I remember seeing videos of like Jason Aldean back in early YouTube days, and it was like Jason Aldean forgot the words to his own song, and I was like, "There's no way I And then like I'm playing some rinky-dink writers round, I'm forgetting the words of my own song. Oh yeah, that can totally happen.
It's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine the more thousands of people you had in front of it, the more it's like coming at you, like just.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite venues that you played over the last year? Kind of getting to tour more.
Yeah. Let's see. One of my favorites always will be Georgia Theater in Athens, just because like we played there several times now, and that's where the dream started, for me. But then, all those amphitheaters with Luke were so cool, and I'm trying to think of some of we just played one of my favorites, 930 Club in Washington D.C. That was an awesome place.
Really,
and then some of the New York City venues were really cool. So it's like also Grizzly Rose in Denver was awesome. And the Roxy out there was awesome.
What makes those venues so special? Is it
it's just
like
and it's weird, like to really put your finger on. It's just there's a certain energy in certain places,
Yeah.
And that just like and it's really hard to say. It's like I can walk in a venue and be like, man, I really dig this place.
Yeah.
And then I walk in another one and be like,
Yeah.
man.
Just something.
And you ask me why, and I'm like,
It just,
Yeah,
almost
it
a feeling.
just feels like the room has like some kind of magic to it,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's wild. What's the farthest that you've traveled?
Canada. We played in Canada this year, and then out in LA and Bakersfield.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah, those were awesome. And then, down in Florida, we haven't gone out of the country to play south, but up in Canada, it's probably the furthest. Yeah.
I think I saw something. Luke was doing like a couple European dates. Is there any talks about going on? Even as a rider, be like going over there and hanging out.
I don't know yet. There's nothing like set in stone, but Neil and I have talked about doing that stuff. Yeah.
What about even going on the road with them? With Cadillac, have you done that?
Yeah, we've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
That's
guys
awesome.
I just
get
saw
rowdy.
them play at a showcase the other night. I haven't seen them in years.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
great. Yeah.
They're so good, man.
Yeah.
Golly, they're like.
That's
they're
another
so
thing. I don't know how, because like they are rowdy. I don't know how Neil can wake up the next day and.
I know.
I mean, it would
They're
take
rowdy.
me 2 hours to let my brain,
know.
decompress.
Now,
They get after it.
being on the road, like, do you have any like things you absolutely have to pack? How do you stay healthy? Do you have any tips for traveling?
How do I stay healthy? I think I'm just like.
A good dose of PBR. And,
Yeah.
I can give you all the tips. I have healthy travel tips.
My tolerance for, I guess my immunity's probably gotten up from being on the road so much. Cause
Yeah, just exposed to so
Yeah.
many
the
germs.
biggest thing is like finding a way to get some sleep.
Yeah.
And like, and sometimes that's not possible, but like when you can, you have to. So, that and just like trying to drink water and not beer.
A lot of
What-
water.
what,
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
What
seriously.
stage are you at as far as like traveling? Are you?
So we're back and forth. So I own like a van and a 15 passenger and a trailer, but we like for some dates this year we did a bus. It just all depends on kind of what it is. Like the Luke tour, we did a bus, and then I've done a Sprinter before, but I own a van, so we kind of most of the
Bounce
time.
around.
most
You've
of
had
the time
that
we're
van
back.
for a while, right? Or did you
Yeah,
get
it's a
another
couple
one?
years. Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
years.
I don't know. I feel like I know. I remember a while back. You've always had like about a 12-foot trailer.
Yeah.
But maybe you were just pulling that with your old truck or something.
Yeah, I think we might have got a new trailer since then.
Yeah.
But
What you do with the old one? You trying to sell it cheap?
man, that thing's down in Georgia.
You're trying to get deals on the podcast.
I mean, what you gonna do?
Yeah, I actually think that, man, somebody asked me where it's at. I think it's in Greensboro, Georgia. I'm not sure. I may never see it again. So,
Oh man.
yeah.
Okay, so each week on the podcast, we do author confessions.
Yeah.
So something weird or embarrassing about yourself that maybe people don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out how embarrassing I should get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've confessed a lot because I usually do it each week. But
You confess more stuff each week?
each week. So sometimes I feel like I have to go out and like do something stupid
You know what's
to
really-
bring back for content.
You know what's really weird about me? And
I don't know, but I would love to.
Yeah, and it's pretty embarrassing. I don't know if it should be embarrassing because it was like a long time ago, but I didn't sleep like in like a bed by myself until I was like 10.
Okay.
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 Maybe
Well,
That is
that-
kind of weird.
That's pretty weird.
Here's
That's
where it
pretty
goes from
weird.
being
and
weird.
I think that's my
Like,
my
where did you
parents.
just
Was it
sleep
with your
with?
parents or with
No,
your?
just I'm saying like I
Oh,
was
with
with
your
my parents.
brother.
Yeah. So like in
Okay.
this huge California
Well-
queen.
Did
And
you
so-
have
you
your
got a
own
big-
room in bed?
Yeah, I mean maybe it was 9 or 10,
I mean,
but
that's cool, man.
I think it was
Were you
just like
scared of the dark?
I was a skittish little kid for sure. Yeah.
Hey, I've been to Georgia. It's scary. down there.
I mean, I just watched too many scary movies when I was a kid.
Yeah,
You know? And I
I
was
mean-
like, no, I ain't sleeping by myself.
Okay.
I
so
did-
you were
But
scared.
then it was like, it was never a time where I go from, it wasn't this thing where it was like, oh, you got to go sleep in your bed now. Then we have to work on 6 months of like, me. It was like, obviously I'm like older, like 9
Yeah.
or something. It was like, okay, they said I got to sleep in my own bed. So,
So you just did.
And I just did. And it was like, no, yeah, it was weird.
That's a
I
little
had
weird.
that.
I know that's embarrassing and weird. Nobody out there judge me for that. All right.
Whatever the formula was, it worked out. But I can relate to that. I watched. I want to say it was like the Wizard of. I hate the Wizard of Oz because that movie had the first tornado I saw, and I've been.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've never
scared
if
of
a
it.
tornado could come right now. If there could be a tornado alarm, I'd be like cracking another beer. Could care less. put me to sleep. Worst nightmares in the world.
Yeah.
But my parents, they just locked the door.
Yeah.
Locked you in a room. I don't think I was ever scared. Maybe, I don't know. I had a little sister, and she'd sleep on the floor of my room sometimes. If she
Yeah.
got scared, I wouldn't let her sleep in my bed.
Right.
I was a bully.
Yeah.
Get out of bed, sister.
You gotta sleep on the floor.
Oh man.
I'll confess this, and it might be weird. I'll ask you guys.
Okay.
Okay, so there's this thing that girls do now, and you get.
I'm
where's this
terrified
going?
now.
So you buy these tinkle razors and
What
you
is
shave
it?
your face.
Really?
So like once a week I shave my face, which sounds really weird, but I don't have like a beard.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I
it's
know.
not like
I
I'm
can tell you don't
shaving
have
a
Well,
beard.
as someone with a beard,
But-
I can tell you that I've always heard the more you shave, the thicker it
No,
comes
it
back.
doesn't. So these things are called tinkle razors, and like it's
Not tinkle, because you said tinkle first.
Yeah.
tinkle.
Yeah.
Tingle with a G.
Tinkle with a K.
Hey. Oh, okay.
And you get it off Amazon.
That is poor
and I think it's
marketing.
great for your skin though, because it like gets
Is it
the
like
dead.
one of
It
those
gets the like.
laser?
I mean, you get like the first layer of skin off, and it, like exfoliates, and
Sure.
it's supposed to be like better for your skin. So I do like once a week now. But is that weird? Like if you're a dude and you're like dating a girl and like she has a razor in her like and you go like
I
you're like
don't
going to brush your
think-
teeth and she's shaving her face.
I don't think that it's actually a razor, because in my eyes, I'm thinking like,
Well, some girls
Like
like
a-
use like an actual razor, but I use the tinkle. I did a lot of research on it.
but you were talking about like exfoliates. I don't like I've shaved and I don't feel exfoliated.
Yeah, because it takes off that first layer of skin. So
Sure.
you guys should have better skin.
Well,
When's the last time you shaved, cowboy?
Oh, it's been a while. You can tell.
Yeah.
I need to do that tonight, probably. But,
Yeah. Well,
But
I don't know. As long as she's like not doing it at dinner or like in the
yeah, I mean
middle
that's
of a
pretty
movie.
strange. I've never heard of that. So you
okay,
learn
so
something new every day.
yeah,
So.
it's a thing
There's
for
a lot
girls.
that girls
so
do when they
you
get
guys
ready
see,
that guys don't know.
Yeah, see a girl doing that. It's not weird. It's a thing.
I mean, it's context. It's where it's done. Like
where it's done.
yeah.
But also, like, I travel a lot for events and like room with other girls, and so like I feel like it's something that
Right.
I'd be like, hey, I shaved my face like the minute I meet them. Not like the minute we get in the room and like I'm unpacking things. It's like, by the way,
I
Might be a weird
think with
thing.
other
Right.
girls it would be
but I
like
brought one for you too.
For you
Like,
too.
I don't know. I think the weirdest part about that is the name of the razor.
Tinkle.
Tinkle.
You get like
Weird.
3 of them. I throw them away like every week because I think it's bad to get bacteria on them. 'Cause
Yeah,
then it
probably
makes
because
your
they
skin
got tinkle
worse.
on them.
So I throw them away. But I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I'm into it.
Hey,
I get a lot
hey,
of
teach her on, right?
I get a lot of my recommendations of what to do through blogs and podcasts, so the information might not be coming from credible sources.
It's okay.
This coming from the
It's
girl
worth a
that
try.
a couple weeks ago was really upset because she wanted to buy like a $300 toaster off of Amazon.
I am into these toasters. Okay, I showed someone else. I had a meeting today, and we were sitting there, and randomly I was like, "Have you seen this toaster before?"
$300 toaster.
It makes no sense.
And he was
dude.
like, "What kind of toaster?" I said, "Well, it's on my Christmas list, and it's not 300. It's like 190. They're on
Okay.
sale for 170 right now. They're called. I'm gonna pull it up. They're called Smag, and they have these toasters, and they're so cute. Like,
They just look like 1950s toasters. I told her that
tell me-
Walmart has them
no,
for $15.
They don't. And I also want to get a skincare fridge, like a mini fridge in my room for my skincare products. And I'm really not that extra. Like, I'm pretty low maintenance, but it's not a cute toaster.
I mean, it is, but I don't know if it's one.
If I was getting married, it'd be on my wedding registry.
I don't know.
For
Okay.
sure.
I
And
feel
people
like
would
that's
probably
fair.
judge me for having
That's
a $200
fair, but
toaster.
they get it for you. So.
But
Only
someone
way,
would buy it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to buy myself one before I'm married. Because I really want one now.
The only way
fair.
Ray Fulcher would ever have a $300 toaster is if it popped up tickets to a Georgia Bulldog game.
100%. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Actually, I don't know. I mean, you're doing all right as a songwriter. You might could afford like a Georgia Bulldog, like one that put like a Georgia G on your toast. You might could do that.
They make those? 'Cause I'm
I don't
getting
know,
one.
but you could.
We could call Smeg and have them custom order one. It might be
Alright, we can
$1,000,
do
but
that. I'm out. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so into these products. But, yeah, I love that toaster.
man, I'm curious about the deer you shot, and I think I remember from like the Facebook post. Did you say that you had like been stalking that deer for a little while?
We had scouted it, so we had seen it on camera like probably 10 times or something.
Is that over the course of like a couple years?
No, this is
Or
like
just,
just late
last
summer,
year?
late summer to now.
Okay.
And he had never come out in daylight ever.
Yeah.
And
Smart
so
deer.
Morning hunt or even hunt?
was eating a hunt.
Okay.
And then I guess he would only come out like an hour before. The latest he would come out would be like an hour before
Yeah.
daylight, or the earliest would be like an hour after dark.
Yeah.
And so
That's so hard too when you're just hunting that one deer.
And I was sitting up there. There's two Noises over there, but I was sitting up there at 5 o'clock. I got in the stand, maybe 5:02 or 3 or something. Mm-hmm. And
That's pretty late too.
I was like, what time does the sun go down?
see,
That's late.
And so it's like 4 here.
Oh
So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
Oh,
Georgia.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, 5:15.
Yeah.
There he was.
And that's
Man.
it. That's the best, though.
That was the first time I went hunting this year. 15 minutes.
You only been
into
there
the first
15
hunt.
minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, my father-in-law did that crap last year. He's got some acreage down right above Alabama, and he hadn't been hunting in probably 7 years. One morning, just woke up. I think I'm gonna walk out back, go see if there's a deer out there. Sat in the stand 15 minutes, shot a 10-point buck. Just
Beginner's
huge
luck.
deer. You know.
Yeah.
I go hunting every year in Kentucky. Like, I think next week or 2 weeks it'll open up in Kentucky. But I went last year, and I go with my dad, and he sits with me still. And I got really excited because I feel like every time I shoot a deer, it gets up and runs away, and then we can't find it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
That's a
every
terrible
time.
feeling. I've done that twice.
And it's like, maybe I missed it. Maybe I really didn't hit it. And
Yeah.
it's always like just a discouraging thing. Well, I shot one last year, and it was probably the farthest shot ever. And I thought it was a big doe. We got up to it, and it was a little buck.
Little button head.
I was so upset.
I shot a 10-point last
buck.
year, and it ran onto the neighboring property and dropped. And I went and I crossed the fence, and guy comes up and he's like, "Get the hell off my property!" I'm like, sorry, my deer ran over here. Just let me get my deer, and I'll leave. And he goes, "It's my deer now." Oh my god!
Man.
You want to talk
Really?
about turn redneck real quick? But I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I was like, I will kill this old man.
Oh, man.
Golly.
Did you say you had some questions about?
I have a big crush on a guy that I think hunts for a living right
okay.
now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to hang out with him because he's always hunting.
Well,
He's from Georgia. He lives in Georgia still.
maybe you should just go with him. Try to go hunt with him.
Oh,
Do you know the guy or not?
Yeah.
Oh, you know him. Okay.
Well, I met him.
You met him.
I met
Well,
him
he's probably in the deer stand.
all the time.
He's more than likely, at some point, he's going to get bored and look through his text or Instagram or something.
Hold on.
So,
I did text him one time on the podcast.
yeah.
It took him 8 hours to respond.
Oh,
but then he
man.
said sorry, he'd been busy. Like, it wasn't like he was avoiding it. I didn't think.
Or maybe you just kind of tread water till after hunt season and then try again.
I think that's the best
but then
plan.
there's turkey season,
But
then
there's all
there's duck
these
season, then
seasons.
it's wabbit season.
Yep.
You
They're
know,
different states, it's at different times.
Yeah, I mean, I think you at least let it get till like, so right now it's prime time. You let it get
yeah,
through.
Let
it's
it
the
go,
right.
let it
like
get
through
through
Thanksgiving?
like through Thanksgiving. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe be like, hey, I shot this turkey last year. I'm thinking about cooking it. I have no one to cook it for. You want to come up here? And then you just go to
He comes up
like,
here, I have no turkey, I don't know how to cook.
be like, this
It
was
looks
all
like
just a devious
It looks
plan.
like a total scam because it is.
Because it is.
I said
We're like, why is your turkey shot in a Kroger bag?
one time I was dating a guy and he's a great cook and I wasn't very good at the time. I'm not great still, but I was really, really bad. And he's like, why don't you cook dinner tonight? And I'm like, okay. So I might cook. I pretend cooked. I went to Term Truck and got the hot foods and then put it on the stove.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That's awesome.
He bought it.
That's
It
a
was
great
great.
idea. That's a great idea.
oh, he bought it.
Like he believed it was me.
You believe it.
Oh, wait. Is Turnip Truck like a restaurant?
It's like almost like a Whole Foods and they have a hot food bar.
Yeah.
So you can read what's on everything and like what it's called.
Oh, that sounds great.
And then you just heat it up like you made it and it's a great night.
Nice. Nice.
That's awesome.
I'll keep you updated.
Do it, please.
I might call for some hunting tips.
Yeah.
See,
Always.
I grew up like hunting and my dad goes on hunting trips all the time and hunts everything. But I feel like he helped us so much and he still does because I feel like he just enjoys.
Yeah.
He has all girls. But I feel like he just enjoys like helping us
Yeah,
and being there still.
for sure.
That like sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how to load this gun, Dad. Like you've been doing it for me for 21 years.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have no idea how to do this. So I think I'd be dumb if I went hunting with someone.
Yeah, you might have to learn. Yeah, just take some time and learn.
Oh, man.
Bingo.
At the end of the day, especially if you're going with him, then you can just, like, let him tell you, you know, kind of, like, oh, well, make sure you hold your gun like this. Be like, oh, thank you for showing me.
There you go.
You know?
They can use that to your advantage for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys want to feel like they're, you know,
Needed in some way.
needed in some way. Yeah. Even though we're very aware that you need nothing from us except, you know, the population increase. You know.
About it.
That's it. Other than that, we might as well just be hanging out in the cave making fire.
Oh, man. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Okay. Well, Ray, where can everyone follow you, find you, keep up with you?
So on Instagram, it's at Ray Fulcher Music. Twitter is at callme_Raymond.
Oh.
And then it's rayfulchermusic.com.
Did it change from just regular Call Me Raymond?
No, it's always had the little underscore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I typically don't say the underscore unless I'm like saying this is where
to actually find it. I got you, man. Well, I will say it's a pleasure to have you on here.
No, thank y'all for having me.
Yes, it's been fun.
It has been fun.
Do we?
I learned about girls shaving
You
their face.
Do we?
I'll give you some more beauty tips later.
Yeah.
Do you have your next single lined up?
We're not quite sure yet, but it's gonna be. We're kind of thinking about a couple of different ones. So
us and the rest of your fans will be anxiously waiting.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
That's it.
I know.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Gotta go, gotta get on down the road, gotta outrun your memory, wherever that takes me. I don't know if I can get me far enough away from what you did to me. So I'm gonna need a sunset that I can ride off in, and a little shine on my boots, a little cut in my loose, 2 buttons down on my pearl snap, and an old Stetson hat, little splash in my cup, a little gas in my truck, a little cranked up on my radio, a little down on my window. No way, no how, this cowboy's gonna turn around. That won't you back bridges burn, heartbroken lesson learned, letting go and moving on. Boy, they make it look easy on the movie screen. Hope it looks good on me. Gonna get a little shine on my boots, a little cut in my loose, 2 buttons down on my pearl snap, and an old Stetson hat, little splash in my cup, a little gas in my truck, a little cranked up on my radio, a little down on my window. A little down on my window. I'm gonna need a big VN in the sky on the way out of town. Roll them credits and the windows down. Gonna get a little shine on my boots, a little cut in my loose, 2 buttons down on my pearl snap, and an old Stetson hat, little splash in my cup, a little gas in my truck, little cranked up on my radio.